So Trista's going to go first, and she's going to give us some healthy living basics here.
So, first of all, this is an overview of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about healthy living basics. We're going to talk about holiday health facts, how to maintain and don't gain during the holidays, choosing wisely when you're at a holiday party or during the holidays, and then also how to rescue your recipes and how to add substitutions so you can make it a lighter choice for yourself. So, first we're going to talk about just the basics of healthy living. Really healthy eating for the most part, but we included some exercise as well. You want to follow the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the time you should be practicing healthy eating and make it a priority, as well as exercise. You should make that a priority of your daily life, 80% of the time. And then 20% of the time you can indulge. That is Thanksgiving Day. We can indulge in a way. We have to be careful still, but we can still let ourselves have things that we like, just in moderation. So we also want to make sure and get a minimum of 5 half servings of vegetables, and 9 would be better if you could do that a day. So does anybody know what vegetables that we have to be cautious of when we're talking about vegetables? How there are a few vegetables that you have to be careful with because of the sugar content. Corn, potatoes, peas, and then also things like butternut squash. You have to be careful because they have a higher sugar content. So corn and peas we have to be really careful with, and as well as carrots and potatoes. So when we need to try to aim for 150 minutes of exercise a week, so 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. That seems doable, right? And it doesn't have to be 30 minutes at a time. It can be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes here, whatever it is. Just make sure you add up to 30 minutes a day. That's what we're really shooting for. We're also going to make sure that we have alcohol in moderation. This might be hard for some people, but we are going to try to keep around 6 to 7 drinks for women and per week, by the way, not a day. And 10 to 14 drinks for men. So there's another thing that we wanted to discuss was the 40-30-30 rule, which is 40% comes from from protein. So you want to do lean protein, and that doesn't have to be meat. It can be beans, it can be nuts, any kind of lean protein that you can find. So we want to make sure 40% of our daily calories are from that. And then 30% would be your fats. So we want to try to keep the saturated fat down, the trans fat down, but really emphasize the monosaturated fats. So fish, unsalted nuts, health. Those are a few examples. And then also 30% fats. Did I say that? 30% carbohydrates, sorry. And that means carbohydrates from all sources, vegetables, fruits, and then also your whole grains. So your bread, your potatoes, pasta. We want to make sure and keep that about 30% as well. We're going to move on to just some helpful holiday facts. So on average, a holiday meal has about 3,500 plus calories. And does anybody know how many calories equals a pound? 3,500. Who said that? There's a prize coming to you. Anybody? Oh, there you go. So if you were to consume 3,500 extra calories in a week, you could gain a pound easily. The traditional holiday begins with Thanksgiving. So the average American gains about 1 to 2 pounds. There's a lot of myths out there that say 7 pounds. That's not realistic for the most part. There are some people that could probably gain that, but for the most part, it's only 1 to 2 pounds. And then so with the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, you're shopping, you're going to parties, you're doing all kinds of things. Exercise is not a priority. We find it hard to get the time to do it. So that leads to further weight gain. And then getting back on track is extremely hard, especially when the new year everyone comes in and says, oh, well, I'll start over the new year. But then that never happens, and it just continues, and it's a downward spiral from there, and that leads to further weight gain that could lead to further health complications. So I have a few other trivia questions for you guys that I'm gonna ask. So about how many calories does an average female need? This is just for weight maintenance, or just to say how you are now. What's on average?
12 2,300.
Yeah, there's a couple people. So it's about 1,600 to 2,000 to maintain. But if you were watching your calories, you would find out that you're actually eating that without thinking about it. So that's a very easy number for a lot of people. What about the average male? Who said 20? Someone said 2,400? Or was it 25? I thought I heard 25.
Oh, no, somebody else.
So it's about 2,000, 2,400, and then if it's a really active male, it's up to 3,000, but that's very high as well. So one more question. How many calories are in 1 gram of protein? 4. Good job. That's correct. And then we're just going to throw this out here to run your Starbucks trip next time. How many calories is in a peppermint white chocolate mocha with whipped cream?
Oh, it's probably like 900.
No, we're going a little high there, huh? You're close, 470. So what happens if we take off the whipped cream? Anybody know if we take away?
400.
Who said 400? Someone just said
Well,
that.
I said it, but I don't get a price. You get a price.
Yeah, 400 calories is in a white peppermint mocha without the whipped cream. So I would steer away from it if you could, just saying. So now I'm going to pass it over to her.
All right, so the focus of this is to really not to lose weight during the holidays. That is not realistic, but how to more or less maintain your weight. So, like prepare mentally, be realistic. Don't skip meals just waiting for that big meal. Don't save your calories because the calories
Just add up and you're going to be more hungry, and then you're going to tend to overindulge. And if you'll snack a little before you go, then you're going to feel a little more full when you get there. Plan ahead when you get to the Thanksgiving table. Survey the whole table and decide what you want that will make you, that you really, really, really want. What have I been saving up for all year long? And on that day, you can have whatever you want. But, be careful not to really overindulge. Snack wisely. So make sure you have high protein snacks versus high sugar snacks. And so how many of us have gone to Sam's on Saturday morning about 11 o'clock? So you go by the first taste test and it's a cookie. So you have just a little bite of the cookie, and that is 30 calories. So, but then you have to wash it down with a little bit of gingerbread latte. And that latte for 1 ounce is 25 calories. And then they've got the brownie sitting out. So you take a little nibble, and that brownie nibble is 37 calories. And then the M&Ms. 13 regular M&Ms is 56 calories. 13 can go in my mouth at one time. So 6 cashew halves are 51 calories. You go a little bit farther, you take a cheese, little bite, and a cracker, and you're at 71 calories just for that one cheese and cracker. So, but last but not least, as you're walking out the door, they've got that pumpkin ale. So you have to have a sip of pumpkin ale. So 2 ounces is 30 calories. So before you've gotten out of Sam's, you're up to 300 calories. And so the average person has to walk an hour and a half to burn off the calories that you gained going to Sam's on Saturday morning when you're hungry. So make sure when you go that you have a little something that you're not starving when you get there. Try and pass up, as many of those things as you can. The other thing is plan time for exercise. Like Trista's already said, we all get busy, the hustle and bustle. Exercise falls by the wayside. So, but try and make sure that you are getting your 30 minutes a day, 150 minutes a week. That can help reduce the stress as well as prevent the weight gain before you ever get to the Thanksgiving. Some other rules. So when you're getting to the Thanksgiving table, look at the appetizers. The things that have a lot of sour cream, skip the dips and chips. Go to the fruit, fresh fruit, vegetables, and the boiled shrimp. Keep your plate balanced. Half lean protein. We said, and this is probably our little version here, generally we say more vegetables than we said protein, but at Thanksgiving, we kind of thought probably filling up on turkey is a better idea than filling up on green bean casserole. So we said half lean protein, 1/4 of the plate vegetables, and 1/4 starch. And this is the healthy plate. So half protein for Thanksgiving.
For Thanksgiving, you want all this with white meat turkey, or at least lean protein is what we want to try for. And then we want to have our mashed potatoes, our stuffing. If you want all those together, they need to fit all in this little section. So little taste, little splat here, and then your vegetables here. And so again, if it's casseroles, you need to make, or high calorie vegetables, you need to make sure they all fit in this one little section. So it is kind of
dessert.
It's off to the side. And actually, get 2 of these. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So you can have desserts. It is okay. You do not have to feel deprived during the holiday, but make sure the treats that you eat, do them in smaller portions, Trista's going to tell you in a little bit some comparisons, like pecan versus pumpkin pie. So you can still have what you like, just have smaller portions. Try not to go back for seconds. I know that is a really hard thing to do, but don't go back for seconds. Eat slowly. If you eat slowly, and if it takes about 20 minutes, it takes that long for your brain to tell your stomach you're full. So try and eat slowly. The other thing is eat off a smaller plate. And then they suggest putting food away within 2 hours after serving. Well, that doesn't happen in our family. The food sits out for the whole afternoon. So they said put things away 2 hours after serving it. If you're going to someone else's house, take your own favorite dessert. Take the things that you like, but maybe things that you've prepared with a few less calories. And then be a food snob. If the food doesn't really taste good, don't eat it. Don't waste the calories. And then, don't go for the Oreos that someone else brought. Go for the homemade stuff, the stuff that you've been wanting all year long. Don't waste your calories on stuff that you can have the rest of the year. Probably shouldn't be having too many of them the rest of the year. But, and then there's something called obligatory eating. So you go to someone else's house, they've prepared all this food, and you feel like you have to eat it all because they prepared it. So it's okay to say no, thank you, I've had enough. Or you ask for a to-go box. Take the focus off the food. Don't plan your whole holiday around the meals. So instead of having a cookie party, have maybe an ornament making party. So something besides just all about the food. And like we've already said, most importantly, get moving. And move together as a family. Go to the park, have a pick-up football game, something that keeps everybody engaged and gets everybody moving. So, but when you're going to a party, don't go hungry, snack beforehand, socialize away from the food, and limit yourself to 1 drink of alcohol. After that, keep a glass of water in your hand, something with sparkling water with lime.
So we're going to talk about what to choose here versus what to stay away from. And this is my plate here. This is your plate there. But no, you should be choosing the butternut squash. I did say it's high in sugar, but you should be choosing the roasted butternut squash versus the mashed potatoes. It does have considerably less amount of calories and fat. And then fresh green beans or green beans with almonds or some other kind of white vegetable versus the green bean casserole. White turkey meat, and make sure that you are taking the skin off of the turkey meat because that adds a lot of saturated fat. And that would be instead of the dark turkey meat or any other kind of white meat, chicken or a lean beef would be good. And then if you like the cranberry sauce, which is a big deal for some people, make sure it's homemade and not out of the can or jellied like it normally comes from Walmart. You can go buy it. Make sure that it's homemade, something that Grandma made. It's better for you. It's definitely got a lot less preservatives that will help you. Baked sweet potato versus the yams. And yams with the marshmallows, all the sugar on top. We want to try to just go for the baked sweet potato instead. Dinner roll versus cornbread. That's very shocking. But a lot of people can't eat cornbread by themselves. I'm not sure we can eat a dinner roll by itself either, but cornbread with a lot of extra butter has a lot of sugar and a lot of fat in it, so the dinner roll is actually better. And then pumpkin pie versus pecan pie. This is very scary. Pumpkin pie in a moderately healthy way of 222 calories versus 479 for pecan pie. Same size, same weight, but there's a huge calorie difference. And the saturated fat, it blew me away. Dark chocolate versus milk chocolate. And wine versus hard liquor. And there's really no difference between white or red wine, but it is a better choice than hard liquor, especially if it's hard liquor with a bunch of sugary mixes or Coke. That would be why we would choose wine over that. So here's some, when you are making Thanksgiving, and we talked about taking your own to your Thanksgiving meal, you can replace several things, several of the high calorie, high sugar, high fat things with lower calorie substitution. So a half a cup of Splenda sugar can substitute a cup of regular sugar. It tastes pretty much the same. I drink Splenda a lot, so it's very comparable in taste. And then you can do a half a cup of unsweetened applesauce and a half a cup of oil versus the whole cup of oil. And that cuts the calories, I think, by 75 calories. Egg substitute versus whole eggs. Very big difference, a lot less cholesterol, so you're not getting as much fat. Evaporated skim milk with non-fat powdered milk versus the heavy cream. And reduced fat soups, so the condensed soups that you use in the green bean casseroles or the other casseroles, we want to use reduced fat instead of the full fat soups. So there's a lot of 98% condensed soups versus the full on 100 grams of fat regular soup. Not really good. So we've made a challenge for you guys, and I think this is really important, leaving today, that you take this with you and you really shoot for this. If you are actively walking, or even if you're not, we really want you to shoot for about 10,000 steps a day. And to some, that may seem a lot, especially if we sit at our desk all day. That can seem like a lot, but we really need to try for that. And you can get simple pedometers at the store that can help you track that. And then we want you to get at least 5 servings of vegetables a day. And the vegetables meaning leafy greens, broccoli, asparagus, besides the peas, corns, and potatoes. And that does not mean 5 servings of potatoes because it's a vegetable. That's not what that means. Drink more water. You need at least 8 ounces a day. So water is going to help you feel more full, and it's going to leave you without going for the sugary Coke. And then increase your protein intake. Again, we want to increase our protein because it's going to help us stay full throughout the time. It's actually going to help us burn more fat. And then we want you to lose 1 to 2 pounds prior to Thanksgiving. That's 2 weeks away. That's doable, 1 pound a week. So even if you got 1 pound, you're at least started. You've at least got a jump start on your holiday season. So does everyone think that's manageable? No? Yeah? Okay. Let's do it. Yeah, I agree.
So the most important thing to remember, though, is if you overeat at one meal, you are not doomed. Just do better at the next meal. So, you are allowed that big Thanksgiving meal. Just don't overeat at the next meal when you go to that one, too. It takes 500 calories if you lose 500 calories a day. If you burn 500 extra calories a day because you've gone walking, or you're consuming 500 less calories a day, over a week's time, over 7 days, that's 3,500 calories. So in 1 week, you can lose a pound. So,
And that's cutting out going to Sam's on Saturday. That 500 calories is right there. That's all you have to do. Does anybody have any questions for us? Yes.
How much protein do we have dates?
The CDC recommends on the lowest part of 46 grams for women, and I think it's 65 for men. But I think it needs to be a lot higher than that. So the 40-30-30 that we talked about needs to be about 135 grams. So it's really not that hard to get if you're eating lean protein a lot or nuts and yogurt. So it's very easy, 135 grams.
So if you exceed,
You're not hurting yourself. I mean,
Alright.
it won't do anything to you. Any other questions?
All righty. Well, Julie, thank you so much for the overview. Yeah.
Well, hi, my name is Julie Nice, and as Dr. Christie said, I am a hypnotist. And so I have a very different, what if that'll fit in my pocket? How about that? I have a very different approach to weight loss. This will be new for a lot of you. And I want to say first that you guys did a great presentation, very cool, I learned some stuff, and I agree with everything they said. The problem is that in my world, I see the people who aren't able to or willing to do that. And in my experience, that's like most of us. So, who knows that you can use hypnosis to do weight loss? Anybody ever thought of that idea? Cool, very good. All right. So, a couple of things I want to cover real quick, and then we're going to have a fun demo. So, hypnosis, contrary to a lot of myths and misbeliefs, hypnosis is not sleep. Hypnosis is actually just a state of relaxation while fixating on something, and then repetition of suggestions. Okay? I tell people all the time, I only wish I could make people do things and make them do what I want them to do, but sadly that's not true. You cannot make anybody, hypnosis is not something done to you. In other words, you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. They have to want to do whatever you're being hypnotized to make them do. So, the other thing is there are exceptions to who can be hypnotized. Who knows some of them? Who cannot be hypnotized? Can really smart, extra smart people be hypnotized?
Yes.
Yes, thankfully. 4 exceptions. 1, that you're psychotic, like not in touch with reality, really, cuckoo, can't be hypnotized. That's the technical term. 2 is you have an IQ less than 70. Now, interestingly, I actually did have a client once that had a functional IQ of about 75 to 80, and she did really well. So that was really very, very cool. 3 is if you're like high or drunk or something like that. And 4, the most important one, is just that you just don't want to. So, but other than that, you can be hypnotized to do all kinds of fun stuff, including losing weight. Because here's the reality from my perspective. All human decisions are emotionally made and then backed up with logic or justified with intellect later. From the shoes on your feet, to how you cut your hair, to what color sweater you are wearing, to what you all had for dinner last night, what car you drive, where you went for vacation, absolutely everything is emotionally decided and then backed up with logic or intellect. And we've all done that. I know those shoes are really expensive, but I love them, and I'll amortized out over 10 years with everything I wear every other day. It'll work. Who's done that besides me? Come on, be honest. Okay, so the reality is that whereas all that stuff is true, and in fact in my weight loss programs, we stress a lot of that very same stuff, because I mean, you got to know what you're doing. But in reality, what happens is everyone is overweight from a hypnotist standpoint for one reason, and one reason only, and that is because they are using food to change how they feel in some way. So it could be that you want to go from stressed to calm, it might be anxious to relaxed, it could be bored to not bored, or simply I've had a long day and I want to reward myself. And we've all been there. So because all decisions are made emotionally and then backed up with logic, it gets real easy to get in that trap. Interestingly, it's the same reason people smoke cigarettes and do all kinds of other silly stuff, but that's the reality. So using your unconscious mind, your imagination, and your emotions, we can use that in your favor to shift how you feel and relax in your head a lot more. Because I would be willing to bet, as I look around the room, most everybody here, with a possible couple of exceptions to my right, are pretty wound up in your head. like going very, very fast. And for a lot of gals in here, you're talking to yourself in your head all the time. Talk, 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 talk. Anybody relate to that? It's true. Come on, it's true. Which is all fine and wonderful, except that your state of mind, whether you're calm and relaxed or whether you're really busy in your head, that controls your thoughts. And then your thoughts, of course, control your actions. So it really is up here in your state of mind being calm and relaxed. So what I want to do is introduce you to sort of the basic general tests that we do. When somebody comes in for a free screening, which is how we do it, if somebody wants to get hypnotized, we have them come in for a free 30-minute screening. One of the first things I'll do is give them a hypnosis test. Real easy and simple. And the reality is, you know, hypnosis is so easy a 5-year-old can do it, so it's not hard at all. But it's something that shows me if you can pay attention and follow directions. Very important. I got somebody shaking her head over here. You can't pay attention and follow directions? Okay, then you don't get to, oh, that's your husband, okay. All right, so those of you who want to play along, this is just for fun, but you actually have to listen carefully, pay attention, and follow directions. So everybody, close your eyes. Get as comfortable as you can in your chair as you begin to listen to the sound of my voice. I'd like you just to relax, take a nice deep breath in, and let it out very slowly now. That's right. And with your eyelids relaxed, comfortably closed as best you can, letting your mind clear of any thoughts, you can come back and pick them up later. I want you to notice that your eyelids are becoming relaxed, and as you now roll your eyeballs gently upward, sort of like you're looking out of your forehead now. That's right. Rolling your eyeballs gently and easily upward with your eyelids comfortably closed and relaxed, beginning to feel heavy and stuck tight. Soon, the harder you tug on your eyelids, the heavier they're going to feel. You'll notice your eyebrows move up and down very easily, and your eyelids remain heavy and stuck. Notice that sensation now. Really try. Give it some effort. Notice your eyebrows move easily, and your eyelids remain heavy and stuck. That's right. And now, as soon as you have satisfied yourself of that sensation, I'd like you just to nod your head yes, so I know you feel it. That's right. And now everybody can roll your eyeballs forward and open your eyes easily. Most of you did really good. Wasn't that cool? So, it probably felt a little weird that you got your eyelids stuck shut for a while, but it was kind of relaxing as well. So, what I would like to do is I would like to have a volunteer, and I know Dr. Tristy did volunteer, but I'm looking for somebody in particular. I'm looking for somebody, because we all know sodas are so bad for you. You guys would agree with that. They're just horrifyingly bad for you, connected directly to weight gain and cancer and joint pain and all sorts of stuff. It's really bad. So I just wonder if anybody is in here who currently drinks soda but would like to not drink soda, or at least not as much, and for real not want to. Okay, tell me about that. Why do you want to quit sodas?
But I like to have soda, especially a cherry Coke. I like the feeling when it go down.
And tell me why you want to give it up. You're making a case for why you want to keep drinking it.
I give it up because it's unhealthy.
Yeah, but see, that's intellectual. Tell me what bothers you about it, really. Why would you want to give it up? There's all kinds of things we do that are unhealthy.
Well, when I burp, it smells like bologna.
There you go. That's one. Okay, that's good. That's good. What else?
I don't want my kids to drink it, so I don't buy it.
There you go. Okay, you can come on up. Alrighty, let's give her a hand for being brave. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, sit down right down there, sweetie. Okay, scooch in just a little bit. Okay, now have you ever been hypnotized before?
No.
Got any wallets or expensive jewelry on you? Okay. Just kidding, just kidding. Alrighty, and your name is?
Stacy.
Stacy, okay, Miss Stacy. So really for real you want to get rid of or cut down on sodas, for real?
I do.
Okay. So, how good is your imagination?
Very vivid.
It's very vivid. Well, she says, alrighty then. Very nice. Okay, well we're going to use that right now. And that's really as simple as it is. You know, it's just using your imagination. So, I want you to close your eyes. Nobody's going to stare at you. Now, it was a diet cherry what?
Not that.
Oh, just regular cherry? Cherry Coke. Okay. So, a cherry Coke. Now, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to vividly imagine that you're going in the refrigerator and you are getting an ice cold cherry Coke. It's got a little condensation on the can. You know, that's what, silver and red in the can, right? And it's just beautiful in there, isn't it? And you bring it out and you're holding it in your hand's getting cold, and you pop the top, and you hear all that fizz. Okay, so if you were to say on a scale of like 0 to 10, what your desire right this minute for a cherry Coke is, what would you say? 10. Are you really sure about that? How do you know you're sure?
Because I want one.
Because you want one. Okay, awesome. All right. Now, what I want you to do is open your eyes. Tell me what color your front door is.
White.
Excellent. Close your eyes. Now open your eyes. What color or what flavor of dental floss do you prefer, cinnamon or mint?
Mint.
Excellent. Me too. Close your eyes. Okay. Now, this time you have a desire for a cherry Coke. But sadly, there aren't any in the refrigerator. So you go out. Do you have a garage?
No.
Do you have a storage unit? Yes. Okay. So you're going to go to your storage unit, weirdly. And in your storage unit, you find a couple little cans. And you pick up one. So hold it in your right hand. Is that the hand you usually hold the Coke in? Okay. So there's your cherry Coke. Now, because it has been in your storage unit, it is actually warm. That's the first thing you know about it. And it's on a particularly hot day, so it's like almost hot in your hand. Okay? And as you're looking at the can, you notice, you know how it kind of gets scraped up a little bit sometimes when it's been dropped and so forth. And it's got that little, the dents along the top, like where you drop it accidentally. The top's kind of bubbled up. And you know how it gets that kind of oily, gritty stuff on the top of the can sometimes, and they've been sitting around? You know, and it's got that too. But see, you really do like cherry Coke. That used to be true. You used to like it a lot. And so what happens is you decide, well, I'll just go ahead and have that. We'll just go ahead and have a sip anyway. So you pop the top, but there's not a sound of a fizz, and you're confused. So you look in it, and there's not a bubble to be found. There's no carbonation at all. In fact, as you swirl it around a little bit, go ahead and swirl around just a little bit, you notice it's kind of thick. And you know how it separates in the glass when it's been sitting out for a while? It's done that in the can. But you know, you used to like cherry Cokes a lot. So you go ahead and just go ahead and have a sip of it. So go ahead and take a drink of it. And the first thing you notice, it's got that metallic taste, really bad, like it's been sitting there forever. It's warm, almost hot, and it's kind of thick, like sickeningly sick, almost like syrupy. But you know, you really did. You used to like cherry Coke a lot. So you go ahead and decide to go ahead and have the whole can. So I want you to vividly imagine, Stacy, right? Stacy, I want you to vividly imagine that you're drinking the whole can, down to the last drop. And it's got that metallic taste. It's sickeningly sweet, kind of thick on your tongue. It makes your tongue fuzzy and all that. Now you drink all that. Now tell me, how does that feel in your stomach? What's that like?
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, does it feel almost nauseous, like kind of,
Yes.
oh gosh, bleh.
Sickening,
Right, sickening. Okay, awesome. You're really sure about that?
Yes.
Now I want you to vividly imagine that, okay? Now, next, I want you to vividly imagine that you can take that can that you're holding in your hand, and I want you to shrink it down to maybe 2 inches tall. Okay? So it's a little teeny can. And then we're going to be like in the cartoons. You're going to throw that can far, far behind you, but it's going to be like go forever. Okay, that's somewhere in Louisiana, right? Is that the right direction? Okay, so it's way far behind you. Now, on a scale of 0 to 10, really imagining how that feels in your mouth and in your stomach and all that. On a scale of 0 to 10, what would you say your desire is for some cold, fresh, clear water is right now? Probably 10. Let me know when you know for sure. 10. Okay, open your eyes. Go ahead and have a sip. Oh gosh, that's going to be good. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, that is so good, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yes. That just might be the best water you ever had, isn't it? I'm just thinking. All right. So, what's the month after your birthday?
December.
And how many tires does your car have?
4.
You sure there's not one in the trunk? Oh, gotcha. Okay, now seriously, because we all want to know. Stacy, honestly, truly, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being high, what's your desire for a cherry Coke right now?
0.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How do you know you're sure?
Because I feel sick.
All right. So seriously, that never was true before where you had a 0 desire, was it? Right. Okay. So what's going to happen is you're going to sleep really, really well tonight.
Okay.
And when you wake up, very restful, and when you wake up tomorrow feeling very unusually refreshed and rested, you're going to find that your desire for water just weirdly increased. Because as they accurately pointed out, getting about 8 to 10 cups a day is very, very good. That's to be properly hydrated for all kinds of great reasons. And your desire for water is just going to be like, wow, I never knew I liked water so much. And every time you see a cherry Coke, it's going to be like, yeah, I used to like those. Would that be all right with you? Yes. Okay, everybody give her a hand. And you can go ahead and finish that water.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being our guinea pig.
Thank you.
Okay, so questions. It's called the International Hypnotism Training Consultants. My information is all in the brochure, but yeah. Okay, so those are great questions. Anything else? Sir.
Can you use that to eliminate all prescription drugs?
Well, in my experience, and I certainly can't make a blanket statement, but in my experience, the vast majority of my clients who are in, for an example, a weight loss program, typically either reduce or many have eliminated high blood pressure medication, antidepressant medication, anti-anxiety medication, and all sorts of stuff. So yes, and including insulin. Yes. Okay, thank you very much for your attention all. It was a lot of fun. Dr. Catherine had one more question?
Yeah, 30 seconds. I was just going to make 2 comments. I've been to Julie's clinic to give an evening presentation and seen lots of her clients who were weight loss clients with great success. And they also know a lot more about dietary and exercise modification than I would have expected from this type of program. So that was very pleasing. And we also share a lot of patients. And I just had a patient last week who came off of her anxiety medication and reduced her antidepressant by half based on Julie's treatment. So it's working for a lot of people.
Oh, I love that. Love to hear that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.